Welcome to the Two Rounds Down podcast, episode 2. This podcast, we're going to be recapping IndyCar, NASCAR Dover, as well as previewing this weekend at Kansas. So let's get started with the NASCAR race.
I don't get to say hi. What the fuck?
Okay, say hi.
Hello, everybody. I'm here with Casey, Jamie, his dad, loser dad, Welcome. So, Casey, first up, we're going to get this out of the way because it is awful, painful, boring. Formula One. They were out in Baku, Azerbaijan last week. All I saw was Red Bull 1-2 to start, Red Bull 1-2 to finish. I believe it was Perez, Verstappen second. I don't have any comments here, do you?
No, not really. It was just a typical Formula One race, really.
Very disappointing. And I understand, the love for it, but, the racing's just god-awful boring.
Mm-hmm.
The cities are amazing. And speaking of cities, they're racing in Miami this weekend, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so, that's a pretty amazing city to watch a race in, no?
Mm-hmm.
But it'll probably be another parade of just beautiful multi-million-dollar cars.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, good. We got that out of the way. Now, this is the Ultimate Speedway channel, right?
Yep.
You want to talk about an Ultimate Speedway? I got to say, Barber, Alabama, where the Indy cars were, what an amazing track that is. What are your thoughts there?
Oh, I thought it was a really good race. You know, you had Grosjean and McLaughlin basically dueling it the entire race. You know, Grosjean barely came short. I thought that he was going to get that done, which was painful to watch. But
Yeah, the pressure's got to be mounting on him. He's had so many close calls, but hasn't won a race yet. Do you think he's going to pop his cherry anytime soon?
hopefully, I don't know. This is reminding me a lot of Larson before he got his first win.
Good.
Had a good first season, second season sucked, and now third season he's coming close.
Yeah, he's knocking on the door, and hopefully he can get it done. Your analysis was pretty good. You had your three picks were in the top five: Pato Award and Palau.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, didn't get the one or the three, and Willpower in three, and then McLaughlin with the one. I mean, you can't pick them all, but man, what a beautiful track! Great aerial shots, great racing. Unfortunately, our boy Newgarden there, he kind of faded again, just like he did
Sad.
in the last race. Couple weeks off, and it's May, and any IndyCar fanatic knows you spend the month of May in Indianapolis.
Yep.
So road course next, and then on to the 500 at the end of the month. Looking forward to it, but a little bit of a break there. Okay. Congratulations to the Truex brothers. I forgot the statistic, but this was the first time family members won races in a single weekend. So congrats there. Ryan Truex's first win. Did you have any other thoughts on that Xfinity?
I mean, the first stage was good. You had drivers battling it out for the lead. I think it was Allgaier and Nemechek, something
Okay.
like that. But then Truex just ran away with it in the second stage, and nobody was touching him.
Dominant.
It was pretty clear that he was the fastest car that
Dominant.
race.
I was hoping he'd get more opportunities to get in good equipment like that and run away with it.
Cup race, that was some
A little
controversy.
controversy, huh?
I mean, I'm a huge Ross Chastain fan.
Yeah, but you're
Larson's
also a
my
huge
favorite.
Larson fan.
Well, I mean, it sort of shifted the Chastain first since Larson has the championship. But,
Right.
You know, it was just, I don't know. He's got to be punished for purposely crashing drivers. It's got to happen. He's got to stop doing this, and it's been Larson for the past couple of races.
Yeah, but nobody's even given him a warning. No one's even talked to him. And is what he's doing... Okay, now, Brennan Poole, slower than shit.
That
It
was
wasn't
for, like,
necessarily
20th
a block.
place.
I know, and he was a lap down and all of that. To me, it looked pretty clear, but there isn't anything that says you can't run up the ass of the guy in front of you. Is there?
No, and I feel like if he didn't collect Larson, we wouldn't be talking about this.
You're right. You're right. I mean, it was the unintended consequences of the move that creates the controversy. But like when shit starts flying around the track, you're bound to collect other drivers.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. On the one hand, I understand people's frustration with it. On the other hand, I think that Ross is trying to establish himself as a competitive driver. He was clearly faster than Brennan Poole. Brennan Poole was not getting out of his way. It was pissing him off, and I don't think he looked to wreck him. I think he just looked to go give him a little chrome horn. Just get out of the way, man. Let's go. I think a lot of the high-name drivers, the bigger-name drivers, feel threatened in a way. Like, who is this guy, and why is he doing this? Who does he think he is that entitles him to do this? I see other guys wrecking people all the time. Joey Logano wrecks people a ton. Denny Hamlin, the biggest whiner about this, wrecks people.
Kyle Busch.
Kyle,
He's slowed down lately.
I mean, he's a little bit calmer, but you also don't hear him complaining about Ross Chastain. I'm talking about the complainers here.
Oh yeah, Kyle Busch takes it.
Kyle Busch does,
too.
And another driver who takes it rather well these days is Brad Keselowski. And you never hear them talking about others, and they're not necessarily wrecking. I mean, the last wreck I remember Kyle Busch doing was retaliatory at Dover for Kyle Larson a few years back. Even Kyle Larson admitted, hey, I hit him first, so, fair game to in 3 and 4.
That's how it should be. Ross is over here wrecking Hamlin. Hamlin's crying.
I feel like Denny Hamlin feels like he's entitled, and that's something we'll get to in a little bit.
Ross takes it too, though. Ross does take it.
He does. You don't hear him complaining. He expects people to race him the same way that he races others. So I'm kind of torn here, and because of my being torn, understanding both sides of the argument, I kind of lean a little bit towards Ross. I feel like there's a bunch of entitled babies crying and not necessarily saying, it's Ross's fault. And I think that Ross is nobody gives an inch. And, and Ross isn't asking you to give an inch. He's just going to earn it. I do understand the other side of the coin. But that's just kind of where I stand, and until something a little bit more dangerous, a left hook like Bubba Wallace's suspension last year, intentional, extremely dangerous, I don't really see any reason for me to change my stance. We're open to any interpretations by fans out there listening, so comment, let us know what you think, and we can continue this conversation at a later date. Moving on. I think we got the recap. Once again, congratulations to the Truex brothers. You dominated the shit out of those races. You kind of made stage 2 and 3 on both of those races a little boring, actually. But
it was good watching Chastain hunt down Truex, but that was about it. I feel like if the late caution didn't come, then it would have been a lot, boringer.
Well, yeah, probably, but I mean, they were just dominant. Both of the brothers were dominant all stage 2 and 3. Okay, moving on. We're going to preview the races in Kansas this week, and we're going to talk about our picks. Just to recap, if you listened to us last week, you probably lost money. Kyle Larson got collected, like we already talked about. We had him in our lineup. And if you didn't have Ryan Truex and Justin Allgaier in the Xfinity, I don't think you made any money there either. But this week, we think we got some good ones for you. Kansas. I love this track, Casey. You know why I love this track? It kind of reminds me of a super speedway with restrictor plate racing, but more than 2 lanes, and there's just cars everywhere. I think it's like a 5-groove, 6-groove track, right?
Yeah.
Anything else there?
No, not really.
Not really. What are you looking to watch in tonight's truck race? Any sleepers? Any powerful drivers? Anything?
I mean, you got Christian Eckes. He's pretty good here.
Yeah,
One here at Atlanta, which is a very similar track, along
on the
with
pole.
Vegas. Oh yeah, yep.
Christian Eckes on the pole.
Then you got Kyle Busch and Chastain. That's like the headline going in is who's gonna win between that battle.
Yeah, you're right there. Pretty, top guys coming in there. That was kind of what I was looking at, but I did find a couple sleepers here, who I had my eye out for, and all of them have really seemed to show up for me in practice and qualifying. A couple of them for you that I've noticed were Chase Purdy, Colby Howard, Tyler Ankrum, and Daniel Dye. All of them looking very solid and very cheap in our fantasy pool. No?
Yeah, no, they look good.
What about paint schemes? You seen anything you liked in the paint schemes, or can I go with mine?
Go with yours.
Okay.
I haven't had too much time to look at them.
So, I'm talking, there is a new driver of the number 1 car, Tony Breidinger, and she is driving the Victoria's Secret. And now, normally, yeah, I know, it's a girls' company, but this paint scheme's pretty sharp. The black and the pink is a good combo on this car, and I'm really liking that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I like the black and pink on there.
Chase Purdy, always Bama buggies. Love the Bama buggies, even though the paint scheme's kind of a little blah. Taylor Gray, dead on tools. Man, I love this car. Black and white, very simple, but I don't know. There's something about it that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Josh Ream looks nice.
Yeah, Josh Ream looks
green.
pretty cool. Nice colors. Green. What is that? Like a Dayglow green?
Yeah.
And the front looks like it's got a little bit something. Jag Metals LLC. Then another one here. Daniel Dye. Great paint scheme. Race to Stop Suicide. I love the colors on it. So looking forward to seeing that one.
Nice purple on there.
Yeah, the purple and the teal. I guess, yeah, it's like a blue or a teal. I love it. Great. So for those of you, after my sleepers, we got 2 teams this week. First team, we got to go with a favorite in it, is Kyle Busch.
Hands
dominant.
Down, always wins when he races in trucks.
Unfortunately, very expensive. So you got to find those sleepers, and that's how we work there. With him, we got Eckes, who's been very solid all weekend so far. The practices, he had the fastest times, or one of the top 3 fastest times on the pole. So Busch, Eckes, and then we're rounding it out with Chase Purdy, Colby Howard, Tyler Ankrum, and Daniel Dye. We're hoping these guys on the cheaper end can kind of hold the fort down and maybe make some money.
Yeah, Purdy's always a good option. You know, you want a guy that's going to run inside the top 20. Chase Purdy's your person. He doesn't seem to get in a lot of crashes. Same with Tyler Ankrum and Daniel Dye. So,
well, let's hope so. Otherwise, we're losing money again this week. Other one, we had to kind of change it up a little just for a security bet. And so we went with Zane Smith, Grant Enfinger, another solid runner here at Kansas, historically speaking. Eckes, Howard, Ankrum, and Dye. So essentially our teams are Zane and Grant versus Kyle Busch and Eckes. Well, Kyle Busch, really.
I mean, Zane Smith's always been a threat to win.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens there, but once again, entertainment purposes only. Hopefully you guys, have some teams, and if you disagree or agree, always comment and let us know what you think, and hopefully somebody here makes some money. We'll see. All right, so now on to the big enchilada here, the Cup race tomorrow. No practice yet, right? Or no practice. Practice is starting here. It's 5 o'clock. So they're getting ready to roll out. We're going to do this blind as far as our picks go, but let's see what we got here. What do you think about the race?
I think it's going to be a good race. You know, we haven't had many good races at all this season. I'm hoping that changes today.
Mm-hmm.
Or tomorrow, I should say. But, yeah, looking forward to it tomorrow. Finally get to watch. I had to watch Dover on tape.
Yeah.
So that was pretty sad.
Yeah. man keeping you down, right?
Work
It's
and
the
school.
All right, paint schemes, our favorite. I love this number one Ross Chastain. I
Just
love
a
the number,
classic.
the green on the number, the blue. Pretty all right,
Yeah,
not bad at all.
Just a classic Ross Chastain scheme, you know.
Yeah. The Bush. Bush always comes out with so many paint schemes in a year. This one I really like, especially for Kansas. You got the cornfields.
Yeah, no, Bush always has good schemes. I think next season they're going to Trackhouse, so I'm hoping that, they get some good schemes going with Chastain. I've always loved the Bush diecast, too.
Yeah. No, they always have different unique ones, and this one I think suits the state of Kansas rather well. Nice and flat with a lot of corn.
The
Now-
Brad Keselowski Guardians of the
Oh
Galaxy.
my God!
It looks like a
This was the one I've been wanting to talk about all
King's
week.
Hawaiian / Guardians Galaxy.
Yes.
They better produce that diecast.
Yes, the King's Hawaiian front end with that orange going into that purple on the ass end of the Guardians of the Galaxy, which came out in theaters yesterday. We are too cheap to buy movie tickets over here. We'll wait for that shit to come out on Disney+.
Just not
Plus.
worth it.
Unless someone's got a copy they want to lend us. Car of the weekend right there, though. Hands down. I cannot wait for that one to be produced. I'm sure somebody's going to be paying money to make sure that comes out in a diecast. Other than that, I'm keep scanning through here and let's comment on something, but I didn't see much else other than that.
The Busher's nice.
Yeah, I like that gray. The
yeah.
bodyguard Fastenal. It's all right. It's not stellar. Actually, I did see one. I always am liking the 2311s. Last week, Bubba had a McDonald's paint scheme that I really liked that you missed, and I was kind of pissed with you about that. This Dr. Pepper Zero he's riding this week, it's all right. But they moved that McDonald's scheme over to the 45, and this McDonald's scheme is sharp.
Yeah, I like it with the Monster Energy as well.
Yeah, nice
you
little
got the right
touch in the
color
back
scheme.
bumper there. As far as that goes, that was what I saw. I didn't see much more than that.
Stenhouse looks nice.
I'm always a sucker for Ricky Stenhouse and his junk food.
Sadly.
I love Ricky Stenhouse. We got over the years the Hugs. I love Hugs. It reminds me of my childhood.
I think that was. Oh yeah, no, he was at Roush when that happened.
It doesn't matter. He always puts junk food on his car, and I love it. Every minute of it.
Yeah, just like
This, I like it, and unfortunately for JJ Yelly, he never really gets a lot of television time unless his car goes up in flames, at which point this will look like dog shit. But that's pretty sharp. No?
Yeah, no, I like that.
And that's actually not bad.
No, Darlington throwbacks were released this week too, but that's for
Looking
next
forward
week.
to that. Next week, we will have a in-depth conversation about Darlington throwbacks.
Ryan Newman back racing next week too in the Cup Series.
Well, we're going to
filling
get to
in.
him in a minute.
Yeah.
We're going to get to him in a minute because we got a little bit more conversation on that to come. As far as our fantasy picks, right now, our team, this may change, but we are eyeballing Kyle Larson, William Byron, Christopher Bell, Chris Buescher, David Gilliland, and Noah
Gilliland.
Gregson. David's the old man. Todd Gilliland and Noah Gregson. We would like to see practice and qualifying to make a determination. Some other drivers I'm watching here: Harvick, Truex, Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Corey LaJoie, and Austin Cindric. These seem to be historically better drivers than what their averages are. So we will see what comes about, and hopefully we can make some money. You never know. Once again, folks, entertainment purposes only. And speaking of entertainment purposes, in about an hour and a half here, we have the Kentucky Derby going off. Now, I don't know shit about horses, and neither does Casey over here, but what the hell, we put a couple bucks on it every year. This year, we're eyeballing the 5, 6, 7, and 14 horses. we'll see what happens. But worst case, we lose a couple bucks. Good luck to anybody out there interested in the Derby. By all means, if you ever want to teach us about horse racing, comment in the box. We don't know anything about it. Now, on to the last topic of conversation that we have for you today and this week. Talk about, because of the 75th anniversary, the 75 drivers. They added 25 new drivers. Have you seen anything on this? Can you give me a comment on it?
Yeah, I mean, this week, both the Bush brothers were announced. That's well deserving. Other than that, we had, I believe Newman was announced this week. I don't really think that he's that deserving to be in there.
That is one that I agree with. There are a few that I agree with there. Newman being one of them.
Yeah, this week we had Truex, Brad Phillips, Ard, and the Bush brothers announced. I agree with all of those. No, Truex, imagine he was given good equipment early on in his career. How many more wins and championships he'd have?
Yeah, I know. He tended to be pretty loyal. Even the Furniture Row thing. But Ryan Newman. Now,
yeah, I think that was last week.
I've kind of been indifferent on Newman. He's done some things over the years that kind of come up in the house, like he moved Larson aside at Phoenix one year just to get into the Final Four. But
he wasn't deserving of it one bit. That was Gordon's season.
The Final Four was...
It was Hamlin, too.
The best he ever made, okay? Like, he's never... In a non-playoff format, I can't ever really see him in any way ever being consistent enough over the course of a whole year to even come close to a championship. I'm not sure where one of the top 75 drivers of all times comes from. Now, he did have that horrific accident at Daytona, and he was nothing but professional and came across as very likable in those moments. For somebody who I was indifferent to, kind of against over the years, I did kind of turn for him there.
Another one is Greg Biffle.
The Biff. I love the Biff.
He had a couple good seasons here and there, but
75 is pushing it. We have two more here, and I'm going to say him first, but you don't turn me off. Give me a minute to defend and explain myself. The other two that we have, the first one is Jeff Burton, and the other one is, all right, here we go, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Before you guys say anything, I love Dale Earnhardt Jr.
His personality's great.
Amazing.
His podcasts are great.
He is one of the funniest guys. First off, when Chase Elliott was a rookie, that Napa commercial, gnomes are magical. I mean, he is one really funny dude. He is a great ambassador of NASCAR, and he has the weight of the world on his shoulders with the legacy of his father. And quite honestly, I would have screwed that up years ago. He has been nothing but amazing with how he handles carrying that weight on his shoulders. And the best ambassador of this sport, his Dale Jr. download, phenomenal. And over the course of a lifetime, I see him as being one of the best, if not the best, ambassadors for NASCAR ever.
As far as commentators go, I probably put them inside the top 20 all time.
Absolutely.
Motivators, like people that represent this sport. That's what he's good at.
But today,
like 25 wins or something like that, and half of them coming on restrictor plates.
Yeah, and a fuel mileage stretch on Father's Day in Michigan one year.
The Phoenix race where he beat Harvick out on pit road before the rain came too.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I think that was his final win. Was just him showing up at the right place at the right time.
Regardless of what it is, I feel like those two were kind of NASCAR doing a little bit of favors for NBC commentary, and I see that a lot in football. Chris Carter takes a job at ESPN, and then he's in the Hall of Fame. Chris Carter, phenomenal player, one of the best all times. But if you actually look at the individual statistics, he's never even was the best wide receiver on his own team. He had guys above him at all points in his life. And I didn't understand that. But because he was a commentator, it's kind of, you're a little bit more in the public eye, and maybe like you want to do the favor for the broadcasters so they don't talk shit about. I don't know what it is, but I feel like Jeff Burton and Dale Earnhardt was a little bit of a favor. I'm all for one day, the combination of his on-track and off-track contributions to the sport. One day, Dale Earnhardt Jr. be a Hall of Famer. He definitely deserves to be recognized, but I think they've moved it along just a little too fast in my personal taste. And I feel I don't want to belittle him at all. Please, that's not what I'm doing. I feel like it's a disrespect to him to just do it that way, like to tap in because of who he is and not what he's actually done. Let the man prove to you how I'm confident that one day he will prove all of that, and I just don't think it's been done yet.
Another one is Casey Kane.
We
got to touch up on him. I mean, Hendrick put up with him for too long. You know, he got a win or two here and there.
You do have to understand one thing about him. Before he was at Hendrick,
he was achieving.
He went to Gillette Everham, and I mean, man, Ray Everham. I wish he was still somehow involved in the sports as an owner or something. He put so many dominant cars, and a lot of his stuff happened with that Gillette Everham team. But yeah, I think Casey Kane was a little bit of a stretch. So a couple stretches there, but I understand the recency bias of it all. Brad, totally cool with Brad. Kyle Busch. Totally cool with him. But, what we got here? ChatGPT, what's it telling us here?
ChatGPT saying that AJ Allmendinger is the best driver, so.
Well, maybe he sorted it alphabetically. Sort by first name ascendingly. Welcome to programming world. I don't know. I love lists. I can't help it. Agree, disagree, comment in the box, please.
It keeps on sorting it alphabetically. I'm asking them to...
It's not going to do it. It's a computer. Garbage in, garbage out. Trust me there. So, folks, best of luck in your endeavors. Enjoy these races. We are looking forward to it. We're looking forward to a couple of the paid schemes we told you. If you like this, share it. Let us know what we can do better if you think we can and what you enjoy. Let us know as well. No trolls, please. Thank you for listening. This was the 2 Rounds Down podcast. Casey, you got anything before we sign off here?
No. Hopefully this race is good tomorrow. We haven't had many good races this season, so
I disagree. I think you're just a miserable little one that likes to complain.
Yeah.
I think we've had a lot of fantastic races.
Races with moments here and there, but
for you, for me, they've all been pretty decent races. And if you don't like that, then go watch some Formula One.
Alrighty, that's it for this episode. We'll see you guys next time.
Take care now.